Hey Copic friends, Michelle Houghton here. I wanted to share some new art this week, not by myself, but by a friend of mine that I met a few years back, Amber. She has started some new stamps as part of her online artistic business. So Amber runs Altenew Creations, and she does an amazing job and something I have admired. I met Amber when she came and took my first two Copic college. She came back a second round. Obviously, she felt like she was learning something, and I completely appreciated her and her business. But something I admire about her work is the clean lines and precision of what she does. And I'm just blown away by it every occasion I see her work. So she has added a new venture into stamp making, and she came out with a whole collection, just a big bang of a start. And much of Amber's work is based on tangling. And then, so what you'll see is there's two complete sets that have these little rounds with kind of tangling patterns in them. And then there's a couple bigger ones. She shared these files with me digitally so that I could share them with you. So I hope I got the sizes similar to what they are in the stamp sets, but they may not be exact. But there's also then a third set that is these stunning florals as well, and and then another of sentiments and pieces that you can add it all together. And she does a beautiful job combining them and showing you ways to use them. She also creates digital files that appear to be kind of jelly plate like works that you can use as backgrounds and all this stuff. So amazing stuff. You can check her out. I'll make sure to have her info everywhere on the video and in the information below so you guys can find her. But I thought I couldn't decide. I was sitting here thinking about, well, which one am I going to color? I've printed all of these off because I love them all. And so I thought because of this focus back to kind of teaching you guys things as you're coming to this site and learning stuff from me. I'm sharing the art of my friend, but I also want to teach you some things while you're here. So I wanted to show you a couple things. First of all, so an image like this, if I wanted to complete the circle and get a background plus that foreground, one way I can tackle that is actually lay that background in first. And I can lay it down with a color that I know my foreground, those leaves are going to sit on top of and work. So I can just color over the whole area and not worry about. So I'm going to use a blue, and in this case, I'm going to try a B41. I have not tested anything, so you're just going to kind of see it as it happens. And I'm going to go in and actually fill in this round. Now, I did not create an edge to start. Again, flying by the seat of my pants. So I might go a little bit further than I think, just so that I can come back, and I'd probably use a punch or a die cut to get a really nice round circle. But this will give me, and I could go out further. I could make a square out of it. Obviously, some of the other designs have that edge. But I'm going to lay down that color first and get it fairly smooth. I'm using a circle stroke to kind of hit areas a couple times, but get it kind of as even as I can. But laying that down first, and then I have to let it sit for a few seconds. So we're going to let that one sit because I want that background dry when I come back and color over it. And when I choose the colors to color on top of it, I want to think about those colors because the blue is going to shine through, right? Copic color is transparent, it's translucent. You can see through, and those layers build up. And that blue will mix in with the colors I lay on top. So I want to be thoughtful of that, but I do want to let that dry. So then I thought I'd come over and color one of these really fun, truly tangle images. And this is some of Amber's. Obviously, all of these are Amber's hand-drawn artwork. But these are some of her really fun tangles that she creates. And one of the beautiful parts about an image like this or a tangle like this particular one is she's showing us the in and out. She's already given this image some volume and that we can see how it gathers and tucks down. It reminds me of a really intricate hairdo that comes, you know, a braid pattern that comes in and out, or something that's woven and these little strings are tucked underneath and over and tucking those fabric pieces or yarns together. So it's kind of a neat, she's already given us that visual of the in and out. The fun part is now we can come back in with our Copics and accentuate it further. So we're going to take hints from her about where to put the dark and light. And I decided to go with a color combination that I know Amber loves because it's one we played with when she took classes from me. So I'm going to start with a V17, which is my darkest of my 3 colors. And I'm going to come from these little corners where those lines are nice and tight together. And I'm going to flick in and up onto kind of the center belly of that little stitch. V04 is next, and I'm going to start on the V17 and pull further into that center area. And then I'm going to finish with a V112 right through that center. Now I can blend this further. I can go back and get a little more blending. The only place that I might is in between the V17 and the V04. I could do a little more with that. I don't know if I need to do a ton because this has texture to it. I mean, the artist has shown us, Amber has shown us there's texture. So I can literally repeat that process on each of these, and then I can decide if I want to do another color on those little strings. So let's at least get a few more of these done. But this is what I like about an image like this. I don't have to sit and think, okay, now where am I going to put darks? Where am I going to put lights? Amber's kind of taken that guesswork out with how she's drawn this image, where those lines are tight together and it appears darker because the lines are closer together. It's just like our coloring. It's like doing hair. We put, you know, where we want it to be denser and darker, we tuck the lines in tighter together. And where we want it to get lighter or appear to get lighter, we pull them further apart. But now I don't really even have to figure it out myself. It's kind of already done for me. It is done for me, not kinda. It is. And I am a fan of doodling. And obviously Zentangling is kind of the epitome of the doodling world. So I do like, and hers are, these are just so beautifully done. All right, so I've got my V17 in there. Let's go in and get that V04. Trying to think what would, I know what I want to do on those little ropes. I'm not sure how good it would look. I probably should do something a little bit safer than what my brain is telling me. I'm not always known for the safest choices. All right, some of these are running right off. Remember to turn your image. I'm kind of leaving it at this point, but there is no need for you to sit with your hand cranking around. Make sure to keep flipping your image around. I've given myself a challenge because I haven't cut these little pieces apart, and it would be much easier if I had them cut apart and I could flip them around. Much easier. All right, I think we've just about got it. My iPad, I know, is threatening to run out of batteries, so hopefully we'll get this done just in time. Little V 1, 2. And this is a combo. I know it doesn't necessarily, it's not your natural blending group. It does not follow the kind of make sure you have a color family the same and make sure you have the saturation number the same. But these three blend really, really well together. And it's a color grouping that I've used for quite a while and really do like. Okay. So there's my purples. Let's set that guy aside so we can scoot back to our leaves. So what I picked up is a set of greens, and I have a G17 and then a G24 and a G21. So I'm hoping with that blue underneath, it's going to add that blue into these greens. So let's do at least one branch and see what we think. And I could use a more yellow green. And if I did that, it would lean it more toward the green family when I put a yellow green on top of a blue, since I'm adding more blue in. If you don't have, I might not need a third. If you've never used any of the classic or original Copics, that's what this one is. And I have replaced the end that I can with a brush nib, but you're going to notice this brush nib is considerably shorter than the sketch marker, the one that I normally use. But I have two greens that I've always had in this body style because I got them when I took, they used to hand out a couple markers when you took the beginning certification class. Yeah, I don't know that I need. This is the G21. I'm thinking I don't really need that though. I don't know that's really adding anything. No, not really. But I could add something lighter. Let's try this. Now my eyeballs aren't working. Shoot. That's what I want. I'm going to grab a YG03. Ooh, that brightens it up. It's probably going to overpower a little bit. Kind of liking that though. All right, let's try that again. So I've got a G17. We'll do a group. And then we'll do that G24. And I'm not trying to go, I'm not attempting realism. I'm just going from the center of the leaf out, right from that vein, out toward the edges. So keep opening the wrong end because I'm looking for the gray end, and it's the opposite that holds. So let's soften that G17 with the G24. And this is an odd combo too, but I have found that that G17 works better with the G24 than trying to go to the G28 or G29. I struggle with that jump, and I like this little step a lot better. Now the G17 is definitely a more saturated color, so it has less gray in it, but it definitely blends better with the G24 and then down to the G21. So it's something that I've kind of ended up shifting over to. And then I'm going to add YG03 and start from the edge and kind of flick it back in to that color, and look how much it just like brightens that up. And I'll make sure to edit the video. I'm just starting to lose light. It is like 9:30 or something at night. We're getting our long, long days back up here in Alaska. Missed that little tip. We might have to add a little color back in there. How fun is this though? How pretty. All right. We've got one little group left. My iPad is hanging in there. Hang in there just a little longer. But this is a really simple solution to some of these images that are super detailed like this, where you still want to get that background in. Do the background first, but do it with something that you know you can color over. And I could have used a lighter blue that's even more subtle, and I would have even less change in color. Like it wouldn't affect the green as much. Where this is really cooling it down, and it's keeping that yellow green at the end. It's not as bright as it would be if I did not have the blue underneath. It'd be much brighter without. All right, so there's that one. And then what I'm thinking up here is maybe yellow, except that there we go. And remember, you can always, just because we've gone dark to light doesn't mean I can't go back in and hit those little corners with my V17 again. I know, I can't leave it alone. It needs one more punch. It needs one more push. Back in, tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in. How quickly can I find the color that I want? We'll see. Okay. And I'm thinking kind of a gold. So what if I kind of come in one edge? This is a Y28. And then I've got a Y21. And I'm not going to get a ton of detail. I just think it'd be fun to add that contrasting color. Brighten that up. This is Y21. Just going down the length. Not trying to work into these individual little pieces. All right. There are a couple different tangles and rounds from Miss Amber and her new stamp collection. When you have a chance, go check them out. If you have any questions for me about Copic, add those in the comments. That's always good. And I will make sure to check back as often as I can to check in on those. Every once in a while, I don't get notified, so hang in there. I promise I will get back to you. But it can be a question about this. It can be a question about Copic in general. Also, you can join me on Facebook or over at my blog at scrapweaver.com just to see what all is currently going on with me. Thank you as always for stopping by. Amber, thank you for sharing your beautiful work. And I hope everybody out there has a happy, colorful day.